This post is about boundaries in relationships. This woman posted in the 2X chromosome subreddit saying, "No more allowance for this behavior." So she is over it. She says, "My boyfriend, soon to probably be ex, likes to tickle me a lot or tease me without it leading anywhere. I've asked him to stop. He won't. I have to monitor my tone because I suspect I'm autistic and it's pretty 0 to 100 and it caused me issues. I don't want to scold him, but when he doesn't stop, it's sometimes like, okay, let me try to keep going and see if I can be more positive. When he doesn't stop, I tend to dig my nails into him as a subconscious reaction and a way to communicate physically that which I can't verbally. It came to a head last night when I asked him to lessen the tickling and teasing that leads to nowhere, and he started getting hurt that I wasn't listening to him, saying that digging my nails in is physically painful for him. This seemed to take more precedence for him than me asking him to stop tickling me, which, when unwanted, is also painful. That right there is an example of Darvo. Darvo is when someone, like this woman, has a genuine complaint. She says, "I do not like tickling. I don't like you teasing me." She brings that to her partner and he flips it. Now he is the victim. He is reversing victim offender. Darvo stands for deny, attack, reverse victim offender. And he's doing the reverse victim offender part. She brings him something, a behavior that she doesn't like. He is flipping and saying it. "I don't like it when you do this. It makes me feel like this." And now he is sucking the air out of the situation. And now the situation is becoming about him, even though if his behavior stopped, then her reaction wouldn't be there either. He proceeded to stop messaging me back while we've been actively having this conversation. I've told him that I loathe being stonewalled and would prefer if he would refrain. I brought up that that was what he was doing, and he just said, "Hell no, I'm going to bed." No more excuses for this behavior. I work in IT. I work with the men all day. All day they are outright boobs and they don't seem to think ahead at all. The logic they use is left field. They don't read messages asking for clarification. They assume I'm incorrect without considering evidence I present or investigating anything. They practically take over whatever you're working on when you ask a question with no care about teaching you how to do it. Of course, not all men are like this, but we have to stop excusing them for this behavior, otherwise, it will never stop. Stop treating them like poor little babies who don't get it because they have a penis and growing up they didn't have to think the same way we did. They can still be adults. They still should have respect and common courtesy and be caring. And if not, do not make an excuse for them. Understanding their circumstances and why they act the way they do doesn't mean they get a pass to act that way. This woman clearly communicated something that she didn't like that was happening in a relationship. Instead of hearing her out and then attempting to change the behavior, he decided to stonewall her. This relationship is pretty much over, but she did say that in the very beginning, where she says no more allowances for this behavior. And she says, "My boyfriend, probably my soon to be ex." So she was already thinking that she's about to get rid of this dude because he's not hearing her in a relationship. Sometimes problems will crop up. You express them. "I don't like this." And it's like you can't make someone change their behavior. You can't stop them from doing something. All you can do is control how you react to it. Are you going to continue to be in that situation where they can violate your boundaries, or are you going to walk away? You can't control them. You can express, "I don't like it." It is up to them to make a decision on if they want to change their behavior to keep the relationship healthy. Let's look at some of these comments. We have JT Misseltits. That's a funny name, saying he's touching your body when you've asked him not to. "I wouldn't have stopped at digging in the nails if he continued to violate my boundary." So Tired Won't Quit says, "Yep, he doesn't care about consent. He's actively ignoring a request to stop. Guys like this are dangerous." Spinner of Yarn says, "Full stop this. My ex was a tickler. He didn't care if it caused me pain. It's a violation of our bodily autonomy and right to consent. Necro Badger says a pediatrician told me that the tickling sensation is transmitted along pain fibers. I didn't know that, which is why it can quickly become overwhelming, especially for children. I also do not like tickling at all. Neither does my daughter. I can completely understand, and I'm glad that someone said that it's along the pain fibers. I don't like it. It does make you giggle or laugh, but I don't like to be tickled. Spinner of Yarn says, I have a severe skin disease that makes my skin very sensitive to stimulation, and I have fibromyalgia, and it was just agonizing. I would threaten to hit him if he didn't stop, and he said there was no cause for me to be violent. I told him since he was hurting me and wouldn't stop, if he kept doing it, yes, there was. Leaving him was the best thing I have ever done for myself. It's wild that people act like women don't communicate. Like when folks come into comments like, I wonder if she just tried talking to him. Many times women do attempt to talk to these people. Women talk, but they don't listen. They choose to disregard what women are saying, and it leads to situations like this. The Broke Down says, my dad did this to me. It was abusive. And Sata says, I'm bio male, but a friend of my mom's had pinned me down and tickled me in my teens. He was really drunk. He didn't do more, but it made me feel very violated, and since then I can't be around drunk men. I do understand Sata. He stopped when I ended up kicking out and caused him to stumble back, but there's just something about it that feels very intimate and uncomfortable. And then So Tired Won't Quit says, it is intimate. And when someone doesn't stop, it's because they're enjoying their power over you. It's a way to see if you'll stand up to them. And then Sata says, thanks for clarifying that. I've had people try to minimize it, but it does feel, like you said, the very early steps of abuse. Anything that you don't like that people keep pushing as far as a boundary is something where you really need to evaluate, do I really want to continue to be around this person? And the reason why I do these posts that are talking about boundaries, your boundaries are yours alone, but people start talking about them in the comments, and it's a way to humanize the fact that we have boundaries for a reason. We have the right to feel comfortable in our own skin, and people have need to hear your words, and consent is a real thing when it comes to your own body. So keep that in mind. Don't try to minimize your own feelings when it comes to feeling comfortable in your own body. Saknika says, my ex used to tickle me and not stop when I asked. Well, he stopped when I bit him on reflex. He tried the whole biting is so much more extreme and it's not that big of a deal BS. And I told him, if you had stopped like I told you, since I don't like it, you wouldn't have gotten bit. But apparently words weren't enough for you. I've done the claw things too. Pretty sure there's a guy I knew in middle school with scars, actually. The boys liked to physically tease me with tickles and hair pulling, and I clawed them. One time, one of them did it where my dad could see it at an outdoor event, and I retaliated with my nails before he could step in. The kid tried to complain to my dad, and he just said, I'm not yelling at my daughter for defending herself. I heard her tell you to stop. Dump that boyfriend. He doesn't respect you or your boundaries. I like this comment and wanted to get to this. She defended herself. Please have a sense of self-preservation when it comes to your body. If people are violating your boundaries and consent, use your nails, use your teeth, use what you have to do to get them off of you. The OP says, yeah, he was saying playing and tickling is normal in a relationship. Stabbing me with your nails is painful. And it's like, it's not normal for me. And I don't give a F if it is normal for other people. I don't want it. Why does it matter if it's normal if I don't like it? He didn't answer the question. And then Not So Little Lion Girl says, he's the one behaving abnormally and inappropriately, and it's not your job to teach this man respect. Why are you still with him if you can't feel safe around him? She says, it's ending ASAP. And several times in the comments, she is saying, I am leaving him. It's over. So this relationship is over, and maybe she just needed to type this out to vent, but this relationship is over, and take this as a lesson. Join the conversation, like, comment, share.